That's what's up, boy. That's what's up. Oh, that's what's up. Oh, good evening. This is Joaquin Thompson. I'm in the home studio. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me turn up my volume. Hopefully you all can hear me. I'm in the lab. That's the only way that I can explain it. In the lab, trying to work it out. And you can give me your feedback because I have a telephone number that's set up. So the day is really about you taking the time to use whatever you have to do whatever you need to do. So today, our studio, the team, my regular production team, they're off site doing some other work. So I was sitting thinking I was like, man, I sure would love to do that show today, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it. So this is what I'm gonna share with you all. Within the last hour, it's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I would say within the last hour, I've been able to set up a makeshift studio right here in my home. So this is like my home studio. So this is going to be the home edition. Don't know how it's going to turn out. Hopefully everything will turn out well. If you see anything that's going on, I see my son is on. Joaquin, I appreciate you tuning in. But if you can't hear the audio, if it's something I need to do, hopefully it's working. But if it's not working, so be it. But definitely give me some feedback because that way, that's the only way that I'm going to know whether or not you can either hear me or things are going well. The other thing that I want to try out is thank you for the thumbs up, bro. Got a phone number, even set the phone number up. So check this out. Right. Let me put this number in I'm going to put this number in here. I'm working it out tonight. The number is, let's put this in like this. We're going to say call in number is 404-461-9368. How about that? So I put my number in. So I'm working it out in the home studio. So if you got the number, normally I don't put no pressure on you all. Like you can call in, or you don't call in. I'm good either way. But tonight I'm putting pressure on everybody that's listening because this show is for you. This show is for everybody out there that's sitting behind whatever they're sitting behind, whatever big excuse you don't put up in front of you. Like we talked about, I don't have the money. I'm too old. I don't have this. Everybody has one of these. Cell phone. Let me show you what you can do with a cell phone. And this is something I just set up within the last, again, 45 minutes. So just think if you stay focused and you really want to do something. Check this out. That's my intro. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear that. If you think that's a nice tune, just give me a little thumbs up and let me know. So that way I know what I'm doing is being well received. And we got the calling number too. Nephew, I see you. Oh, that's my brother-in-law, one or the other. I don't know if it's my nephew or my brother-in-law, but one of y'all is on. So use that number, man. Call me. I want to check this phone system out and see if it works. And also, when you call in with a question. Give me some work to do. Give me some work to do. That's awesome. And that was just done with a little bit of technology. So tonight we're going to pick up where we left off last week. Shout out to my production team. Like I said, they're out doing some work in the field. So I felt like, hey, why not use the resources that we have and create a home edition? So tonight's show, the title of tonight's show is, like I always talk to you all about, this is show number 17 of 1,000. So I'm in it for 1,000 shows, but tonight's show is number 17. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to test myself. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I wanted to push myself to say, I could do better. I could have made the excuse and said, you know what? The production team is out on a remote activity. We'll just do a playback, or you just listen to some jazz or whatever we want to fill in on the radio during that slot. But then I was thinking about it last night. It was in my spirit. This is something I'm going to share with you all. This is real talk. It was in my spirit last night, and I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? When you really, really say you want to do something, why do we focus on all the reasons why we can't do it, instead of saying, you know what, the heck how I look, the heck how the way it's supposed to be, the heck with what they gonna think, the heck with how they gonna view you. Even now, I love my kids, I love my wife, I love my kids. Anybody that knows me with me, family is number one. Always start with family. But even my family, my crazy daughter, and she'll be joining shortly because she's one of my number one fans. But when I set up everything behind the scenes, so I ain't gonna tell you, I'm not gonna tell y'all when I got rigged up behind it. So if the next thing that you hear about us is like we had a little mishap at the house, you know it's because of me, because of some things I set up. But it was just in my spirit, like, man, why don't we just take it to another level? Why don't we just have the courage to say, hey, you know what? It may not be everything that I want it to be right now, but let's do a little dreaming. Let's do a little pretending. Let's do a little, if you really want to do it, because from right here, I can grow my listening audience. I can grow my fan base to the level where it needs to be in order for me to get more attention, get on bigger shows, get on bigger platforms. So I said, well, why talk about what I couldn't do? I get off from work at this point and that, but God has really been working in my life, putting me in position to do some things that normally I would think I wouldn't be in a position to do, like a long commute. But recently I've had the blessing of being able to improve my commute, so that way I could just, focus on the things that I need to focus on. So with me, it's all about staying true to self. Just stay true to self. So that way, as you're doing things, as things are working out for you, don't worry about because people always have something to say. And my daughter, if you know her, she's a big jokester. I love her to death, but she was joking with me as I was rigging up things in the background. Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And what she told me was like, hey, you know what? She said, so she was joking with my other daughter. And you know what I did? I took that as confirmation of, you know what? I'm doing something right. Because like we talked about last week and the week before, unless somebody's saying something about what you're doing, you ain't doing nothing. That's just the bottom line. Unless you got a major hater, somebody who throwing you some major shade, or somebody telling you about what you not and where who you think. If you don't have that going for you, then you're not working hard enough, because the only time that the confirmation to know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, or you working on a purpose, is shade. You got to get some shade on you. And I know I probably get some indirect shade, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to have some fun with mine. I'm going to live my life. And that's something that I really encourage you all to do too. So I got the phone number, 404-461-9368. Normally, like I said, I don't press you all, because I know sometimes y'all like y'all in the comedy show in the front row, like I'm really just, haze you all, but hazing is against the law. So I'm not a hazer. I'm not a hazer. But what I want you all to do, call the number 404-461-9368, because this is a number I just need to know if the number works. Because I done paid for the number, so hopefully the number works. So just give me a call, say, hey, boo, bye, this, that, and other. It ain't gonna take you but a few minutes just to let me know that my little home studio is working for me. So that way, again, when the production team is in the field instead of me taking a day off or making an excuse, or even if I'm remote. Because one of the things I thought about is got some vacation coming up and I would be out of the state, might even be out of the country. But because of technology, when I'm out in Hawaii doing my thing, when I'm over in China, just doing my thing. Oh, wait a minute. We got somebody calling in. Let me see how this works. Thank you for calling the Daily Bread Radio Show. This is Joaquin. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Louis Thompson, calling from Atlanta.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. So you calling in, you got a question, you got a comment. What you got, big brother?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
So I'm pretty young, about 25. Just got my first apartment.
Ooh,
and
you flexing over there.
I'm having this much bills on me.
Ooh.
And I was wondering what's a good amount of money to save per paycheck or per pay period. Or what should my goal be as far as saving?
Hey, boy, you hit them hard. Hey, that's a great question. Mr. Thompson. So Mr. Thompson, I'm gonna give you the industry standard. Not only the industry standard, but also what's in me and one of your colleagues by the name of Nia was having this conversation this morning. And here's how this goes. It really doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you save, right? So having the bills, that's one thing. But as you set up, if you think about it, if you go all the way back to when we did our first show, the first show was about you getting your bills in order, number one. And then number two, you setting up your calendar. So I know when you and I spoke, you said, well, hey, I got my calendar, I got my bills. But the thing about it is you have to budget for everything that you have coming in, especially when you're young, because this is about creating habits. It's like working out or eating right or anything else that you do. This is all about setting up habits. So it's not about how much money you make and how much your bills are. It's really more so about you when you look at your line items and you set your budget up. The first thing, and I can't tell you what to do, this is my recommendation. First thing you have to do is figure out what's your net, like what are you bringing home, and then after that, the first thing you should do is set aside 10% to tithe. And then 10% for savings. That's ideal, right? That's in an ideal world. And then the rest, you go ahead and pay whatever you need to do. But what most people do, they do it in reverse. They get their paycheck, pay all their bills, and then after they pay all their bills, then they say, I don't know if I like tithing or not. I don't even know if I believe in tithing. And as far as savings, I don't have no money left. So I would save, but I don't have no money left. So if you do it in reverse, but you got to flip it. So even if you do something as simple as 10% is the rule, but say your check is 500 or 1,000, whatever it is. If you take that 10%, it's really not it's not a huge amount of money. It might be $50, might be 75, it might be 100. But the thing about it is, as you start to save and you get in the habit of setting it up that way, then as you come into hint, as you come into other money, then what you can do is you will be in a habit of, I didn't allot for this money, but it might come in the form of, a check that you wasn't expecting, a bonus, somebody repaying you a debt that they owed you. Then you could take that money, either pay some bills with it, or you could continue to save with it. So that's the long answer to it's 10%, 10%, 80%. 10% goes to God. And for the people that say, well, hey, I don't believe in tithing at all, I'm not going to give all that money to my minister and he's driving a better car than me, that's cool. Let's talk about a wealth principle. The wealth principle is you still give away 10% to somebody. And I'll give you an example. We had a big company outing this past weekend. 10% of the food was left over, right? We had hamburgers, hot dogs, baked beans, coleslaw, drinks, all this other stuff. 10% of the food was left over. Everybody's gone. So now we have an option. We could be in a rush and say we're going to throw the food away, or we could say, you know what? I'm going to go and give this to a mission, homeless shelter, where I know somebody can use this. So I'm saying that to say, if you don't believe in tithing, and everybody's, entitled to their own opinion, if you don't believe in tithing, that's fine. Take the 10% and give it to Goodwill, give it to the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, YMCA, give it to somebody, because then you're sowing a seed. Because if you don't get into the habit of giving, then you're really not going to get into the habit of receiving. So that's the long answer to your question. That's a great question. Great question.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Have a good one. Love you, boy. So that's how it works. Felicia Edwards, that's my classmate. Tell your husband, we need to get together. Y'all right in Atlanta. I mean, I'm seeing y'all, and y'all are homies. So I feel some kind of way about that, man. I'm like, Jimmy was I'm not going to get off base, but Jimmy Edwards, I'm going to just shout, I don't know if it's Felicia or if this Jimmy, but I'm going to just say this. Jimmy Edwards went to Paxson, played running back, and then Jimmy Edwards came to Reebok, right? Notice I put this strategically. I don't go nowhere without that. I don't go nowhere without the Trojans. So Trojans, hey, that's with me. So if you ain't with the Trojans, that's cool, but they with me. But anyway, Jimmy Edwards that was my dude. Jimmy Edwards was my goddamn dude. So y'all get at me, holla at me. Let's get together, man, do some stuff and see if we can get together. Because I'm going to just be honest. I don't have no problem saying I love Jimmy Edwards because, and Felicia, I love you too because y'all got a good heart. And I don't use that loosely, but I know y'all from when we was kids. And now we getting old, we 50. So I ain't worried about it. But I'm not tripping about that. But I'm glad you on to support me and I appreciate it and just keep spreading the love. But so yeah, those are some good questions. And the young man that called in is 25 years old. And I'm 50. So what I try to do is tell, especially young people, right? Howard University, I got a text from my partner today, Eric Chenault. Shout out to Malik. Malik Chenault is starting his freshman year at the illustrious Howard University. And he's he over in Carver Hall. And that joker that got up to DC. Howard seen you on the pictures. They think it's all live. But when you get up to Howard University in August and you're a freshman and you walk into that dorm room and they tell you, you say, where's the thermostat? Like, it's hot in here. And they say, son, we don't have central heat there. And that's when you know. That's when you know it gets real then, because it ain't no AC in the freshman dorms at Howard. That's just how we get down. We don't believe in comfort. We believe in being educated. So that's how we do. But shout out to Malik. Shout out to Amaya. I know my niece. She's about to graduate this year. And we got a strong legacy. I mean, but just the group that I went to Howard with. I mean, I'm seeing Rachel done graduated. Trey done graduated. Nia done graduated from Howard. I mean, Dana's kids are, they at Howard. So shout out to all the HBCUs and all the colleges and everybody's children when they're getting educated. Because, I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate about just using education to leverage your position in life. So whether you go to Howard, Hampton, FAM, Fisk, Texas Southern, Prairie View, BCC. Notice I said BCC because I don't know about the BCU. And my nephew just graduated from there too. But the BCC of the world, the Fisk of the world, the Bennett's, the South Carolina States, the St. Thomas's, the Central States, all of us got to use that education to leverage into what we're going to do. Because there's no substitute for Black excellence. So, did a lot of talking today. Again, the call-in number 404-461-9368. If you got a question or a concern or you want to call in and just say, hey, man, I really like what you're doing. If you got a question, if you want to put Terry Cheeks, now that's crazy. How about I'm walking through the mall and this young lady went to high school with her. I'm walking through the mall, boom, running to Terry Cheeks. And she's a teacher for elementary. I think it was Pine Estates Elementary. And she had her kids with her. They was on a field trip from Jacksonville, ran into her in Atlanta. So shout out to you all because if it wasn't none of you, I wouldn't be here. So thank you, Melba. I see you. So if y'all got questions, if you want to put them on Facebook Live, you can do that. But I challenge you to call in Because when you call in, it's something about when people call in, you know, you can get that energy and that dialogue going back and forth. So call in 404-461-9368. Notice I have to keep looking out because I just got the number. I just put the number in effect on Skype, but we're going to do this. Because one day y'all going to look up and me look back and say, man, I remember when dude was just getting started. But I know we've been talking about goals and we've been talking about dreams. So, you know, every week that I do the show, I always have to highlight a book or a couple of books that I feel will help you and really would tie into the conversation. So this week, we've been talking about dreams, but before I start talking about dreams, one of the things I want to share with you all, just in full transparency, because this was something that I thought about this week. In addition to things stopping us when we have a dream or we have something we want to do, I talked about the haters. So you got to have haters in order for it to be real. Because if you don't have no haters, then you ain't really doing nothing to just shake it up. Because when you start to shake it up, like we talked about before, when you start to change and when you become a threat, that's when the haters come out. So if you don't have no haters, the first thing I would say is you need to start doing something a little bit more, whatever you want to do, to bring them haters out, because they're already there. You just got to bring them out. They got to come out of that, take that mask off so you can see them. So they already in the midst of you, but you just got to do a little bit more to bring the haters out. So number one, got to bring the haters out. But number two, the one thing I thought about this week that I thought was very, very important, and I want you all to just think about this, and not to get too deep, but just to be real, because I think we need to have real conversations in life, especially as we mature and get a little older, become our parents, as we say. One of the things I thought about, and this, shout out to a friend of mine's wife. I'm gonna give her the credit. I'm not gonna call her name, but we was having a conversation about religion and God and what church you go to and all of this. And we were just, it wasn't a debate or nothing like, we just having a conversation. She broke something down that was so deep that, and I'll set it up for you, short version. This is a young lady that wasn't raised going to the church. She wasn't raised going to church. She wasn't, her parents were, they believed in what they believed in, not to say that they were atheists or anything like that or agnostic. They just were not going to church on a regular basis. That wasn't the way that she was raised. So that's just to give you a little background to build up what I'm getting to share with you. So she, growing up, and now she's probably early 40s, late 30s, and she's married to a good friend of mine. So we was having a conversation. Now, my good friend, her husband, he was raised in the church. His mom was in the church. His mom was like the mother, how we have a deaconess board. They were in the church like 8 days a week, like that kind of raised in the church. Like if the church was having something, they were there, right? So now we was having a discussion about if a husband and wife are making a decision about which church to go to, and the wife decides, I'll go to church with you if you want me to go because I'm your wife. And the husband says, well, I want to go to church A, but then the wife has some say. So she was like, no, I really want to go to church B. So the conversation evolved to this point. And this is what she said. This is how she shut everything down. So it was me and my wife and this other couple. We having this conversation. This is how she shut this thing down, right? Because we went back and forth about what church and what you should do and how you should do it, this, that, and that. This is what she said to us. And this was so deep that I want to share this with you. She said, you know what? I wasn't raised going to church, but if my husband wants me to go to church with him, I will do it because I'm his wife. But this is what I want you all to understand. So she was talking to us. She said, all of this stuff that people talk about in church and about church and what they should do and what they shouldn't do. She said, I don't read the Bible like that. She said, but from what I know about God, she said, if we, listen to this, how deep this is. She said, we just do what we're supposed to do according to the word of God, we wouldn't have the problems that we have. She said, if you just do that, everybody would be all right. And I was like a chin check. I was asleep. When she did that, I was like, dang. And that came from someone who wasn't even raised in the church. So I'm saying all that to say, you know, one of the things I was thinking about this week was and this is something I want you all to do. We got a tremendous amount of people on Facebook Live tonight. So I want you to think about this, and I want you to share this with somebody that you love. You know, not so much that, you know, we're going to have to start a chain letter or copy, paste, and send this to somebody, but this is real talk. First thing I want you to do is I want you to put your hand on your chest, because really a lot of people pledge allegiance, they put their hand on it, but your heart anatomically is right here in the center of your chest. You need to put your hand on your chest and say, I forgive myself. Because in order for us to move forward and start really getting a different view of how the world really works, we got to forgive ourselves for stuff that mistakes, you know, way we thought about things, the way we think about things, because negativity seems to permeate right here. This is what gets us in trouble. What's between here is what gets us in trouble. So the thing I would encourage you to do is just, whenever you don't have to do it now, you can do it in that quiet space, but give yourself some time to say, you know what, whatever your name is, like, hey, I forgive you for all of the things that you thought you did wrong, that maybe you should have did this for your child, maybe you should have did this for your husband, maybe you shouldn't have did that because I was a bad, maybe you should have, I hid that money from her, I shouldn't have did, I hid this. And forgive yourself first, because once you forgive yourself, then what that's going to do is free you up to what I say is it's going to free you up to act a fool. So that's just something I was just thinking about this week. And you might say, well, how does that tie into personal finance? Personal finance is really about emotions, right? Because anybody who's creative, like if you've created a book or you created a painting or you created a very good document, or you just think about when you've done your best work. It might have been your best athletic work. It might have been your best work at work. It might have been your best speech, sermon, song you sang, song you wrote. If you think about when you did your best work, your mind was clear. It was uncluttered. It wasn't a whole bunch of, going on all the time. And you was able to get through that white noise and do your best work and be your best person. And we have seasons that we go in and out of in life. And if you think about those seasons, like, man, I remember in like 05, 06, I was banging. Diet was right, exercising. But if you think about that time, your mind was clear too. So what we do sometimes is we let our minds get cluttered with, things that we ashamed of, feel bad about, wish you was a little taller, shorter, richer, poor. But something that's deep, especially for the couples, if you listen to them vows, I went to a wedding recently, boy. If you listen to them vows are serious. Them vows cover everything that go on in a relationship. Because when that man said for richer, for poor, for health and wellness and sickness and health, and they cover everything in them vows. So it ain't no, money tight, I'm out of here. You sick, out of here. It says in sickness and in health, to death do us part. That's pretty powerful. But and just when you think about personal finance, if you can get your mind into a clear space, you can think a lot better about the decisions that you're making with your money. And then you also are not using money from an emotional standpoint to deal with something that you should have dealt with anyway in another state. So, but if you get a clear mind, you can think about decisions, you can make better decisions, you can be at peace. Because that's all life is about. Like my daughter recently asked me, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of money in my lifetime. What you want? You want a car? You want a house? You want this? I was like, you know what I want? I want peace. That's all I want. I just want peace. Just peace of mind. Because I think peace of mind will do everything else for me that I need to have done. But if I can't get peace of mind, money ain't gonna help. Cars ain't gonna help. I love some cars. Cars ain't gonna help. Houses ain't gonna help. None of that's gonna help unless you get peace of mind. And when you get peace of mind, it's nothing better, nothing more joyous than having that in your life. So you want to make sure that you have that. And if you have peace of mind, then you could do a lot of things. So books of the week. So I got a couple books for the week because now I'm in the home studio. I'm doing my thing in the home studio. So I'm gonna hit y'all with this one. And like I always say, these are real. These books are real. Like I read it. I'm not gonna share these books with you if I haven't read them. I believe in, writing books. So you can see I've written books up. And the last 3 books I showed y'all, they ain't even have a cover on them. So I'm not gonna front with you. But this book, this is a good book for you all to check out. It's called Cash in a Flash. It's by Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen. And you probably remember Mark Victor Hansen. He was the author, one of the authors of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And Chicken Soup for the Soul was one of the highest selling books of all time. Chicken Soup for the Soul. They just spin off into all these different series. Chicken Soup for Teen, Chicken Soups for Wives, Chicken Soups for Blacks, Chicken Soup for Whites. They just went off. So he's one of the authors. And the other guy, Robert Allen made his success in Nothing Down in the 90s, real estate investor that talked about ways that you can invest in real estate. But the reason this book is deep, this is a book that's written in a fictitious fashion. But what we were talking about tonight was talking about dreams and goals. So from a dream standpoint, what this book does is when you start off reading the story, it's talking about somebody who's having a dream about having his own business and really controlling his own life. And what the book does is, in a very subtle way, it starts to give you the blueprint to say, if you really believe that you can do what you say you do, or you really want to start that business, or you really want to start that fitness studio or dance studio or cooking, empire, or whatever you can do, this book, what it does, it challenges. It says, how quickly can you get it done? Can you do, if your life, and this was a fictitious book, but what it does to one of the main characters is start asking questions like, if your life depended on it, meaning at the end of 30 days, if you didn't have a business plan, if you didn't have your business license, if you didn't have an outline for what it's going to take for you to start your business, and somebody said at the end of 30 days, if you don't have these things, you will die. How quickly could you get those type of things done, as opposed to saying you want to get it done and then procrastinate for a variety of reasons, like too busy, too whatever, just too many twos. So this is a great book to have. Cash in a Flash, Mark Victor Hansen. This is a good one because we're talking about dreams and having goals. So this is a good one. Another book, this is a deep book. If you get an opportunity, go out on the YouTube. She had a very, very, very popular TED Talk. Angela Duckworth. It's called Grit. And again, the thing about Grit is, like I said, read them all. So just so y'all don't think I'm over here playing around, I read them all. I write all through my books because I believe books are made to be used. But definitely check out Angela Duckworth on her TED Talk. And she talks about grit. And the reason this is pertinent to what we're talking about today is, I'm going to give you the short version. Short version is what she did, she went out and she did some research. And what she found was that the people who are able to achieve things in life are not the ones that are the most talented and have the most resources. The people that achieve the most and get the most out of life are the people that have grit. And what is grit? Grit is that stick-to-itness. Grit is that thing that says, no matter what, like the old people used to say, come hell or high water, I'm not going to quit. Come hell or high water. Whatever I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. I don't care if it takes a month, a year, 2 years, 10 years. That's grit. Where you have some other people that are a lot more talented, but they don't put the time in. They're not going to practice. They're not going to eat right. They're not going to sacrifice. That ain't grit. And we all know people like that. People, because some of our friends, when you see them at homecoming, oh man, I'm starting a finance company and I'm going to be in real estate. And then when you see them, in the summer, they done switch to something. Say, hey, bro, did you start? Oh no, I'm doing something different now. Now I'm into, I'm doing options. I'm doing. Okay, and then the next time you see him at Christmas time, nah, bro, I'm going to get into personal fitness. I'm gonna be a personal trainer. I don't know how to do that. So you can see, and we all got friends and family and people like that change. But grit is, I'm starting this company. I lost a bunch of money. I had to remodify it, had to change my business model, and I'm gonna stay there. And I'm gonna work it out. That's grit. So if you get the opportunity, definitely check out Angela Duckworth and her TED Talk, because she'll break it down even further, because she even looked at people from an educational standpoint and who perform well in school and things of that nature. And I know we got Dr. Henderson on. I see you, Markeisha. I appreciate you joining the show as well. And a lot of educators on. So that's what it comes down to, students. And that's what she found. It wasn't the students that had high IQs and, had all of this, academic proudness. It was the ones that just, for whatever reason, they would not quit under any circumstances. May come from, a poverty-stricken home or a low socioeconomic background, but they were determined to get their education, degree. And going back to Malik, not having that AC for the first time, when you come out of, living at home, got your AC, got your own room, now you go on and get into that darn slave shower. And don't let it be no big game, boy. Because if it's a big game, that slave shower get packed, boy. But that's something that wake you up, because you just used to, having certain conveniences at home, but it'll wake you up. It's meant to wake us up. So definitely check that out. The number to the show, 404-461-9368. 404-461-9368. Now, I apologize for not knowing that number. I've only had it for about 2 hours now. So really working on that. And until we get until we get people calling in, let's talk a little bit more about goals and setting goals and what does it mean to set a goal. So, for me, when you start to set goals, there's a couple of things you need to think about. You should always have a short-term goal, and you should have long-term goals. Short-term goal, I always just put it into one big bucket, less than a year. Whatever you can achieve less than a year, that's pretty much a short-term goal. May want to lose 10 pounds. That might be short-term. 100 pounds may be long-term. May want to, save $1,000 in the next year. That's short-term. May want to, save $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. That might be the long-term. So you always want to set your goals up. And the rule of thumb is this: whatever goals you set up. So let's start with the short-term goals. If you set short-term goals, be it spiritual, financial, health, whatever you're setting up, in order for the goals to be real, you have to write them down. You gotta write them down. And it's several books on this topic. It's several things from a spiritual standpoint. That's why, depending on your background or what church you go to, you would notice that a lot of times with prayer, we're saying the same prayers over and over. Some people in different, religions, they do chants. When you're doing a chant and you saying over and over, what you're trying to do is you drive in whatever your ideas or your goals are, you're driving them into your subconscious. So I'm not going to get deep into the subconscious, but the reason you have to write your goals down is, and the rule of thumb is, when you write your goals down, you should read your goals aloud 3 times a day. You should read them when you first get up in the morning, at some point during the day, and right before you go to sleep at night. Now, if you think about setting some goals and you think about following that pattern over a period of time, just think about if you wrote some goals down of things that you want to do. Short term, I want to lose 10 pounds. And you was reading that every day, 3 times a day. Okay, we're going to take the pressure off. Not 3 times a day, twice a day. I'm going to give you all a break. Twice a day. Read them when you first get up in the morning, and you read them before you go to bed at night. Read them when you get up in the morning, before you go to bed at night. What that's going to do is it's going to help you to start impressing it on your subconscious. And after a while, what you'll notice is you'll start to change your behaviors, because your subconscious will start to work on your conscious mind to have you change the behavior that you need in order to achieve the goal. it's 100% foolproof if you do it like this, and it works. And for many of us, we are using that, but we're using the negative side of that, meaning you go to bed thinking about bills, you wake up in the morning thinking about bills, you're thinking about bills all day. So what starts to happen? More of that negativity and those challenges with bills or financial stress or things of that nature is coming to you because that's what's on your mind. So short-term goal, write them down. And the thing about goals, you don't have to limit yourself. It's good to have, I would say 3 to 5 in different categories, because if your goals get too long, it's like if you're trying to do 10 different things at one time, it's kind of like trying to remember 10 different things. But, in the same category. But if you got spiritual goals, you should have financial goals, you should have health goals, personal goals, family goals. That's fine, because again, you need to write all of those down. And one thing that we haven't talked about is a very good technique. You post them somewhere where you can always see them, and someone else in your household or at work can also see them, because there's no greater driver than you saying you're going to do something and then you post it where someone else can see it, because then what happens? Now you're being accountable. So if you post that thing saying, hey, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, and you have it up in your house, or you may have it at work, or you may have it in your car. So your friend, your girlfriend, your soror, your frat brother, whoever, your mom, your dad, they get in the car, or they come into your house. Hey, what's that? Who's losing 10 pounds? Oh, I'm losing 10 pounds. Now, they're going to be quick to remind you when you go to the seafood house, or to the sweet shop, as we call it, and you start ordering stuff. They're going to say, I thought you was trying to lose weight. Because people always could keep more accountability about what you're doing than what they're doing. So, but that helps you, because then it puts that external pressure on you to change what you're doing. So definitely write your goals down, have your short-term goals and your long. When you start looking at long-term goals, we all should have goals that are 3-year. We should have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, and a 10-year plan. Because if you don't have a plan for your life, what happens is this. If you don't have a plan for your life, somebody else out there that does have a plan will put you in their plan. So I'm going to just pause for a minute, let you all think about that. If you don't have a plan for your life, where you want to be, what you want to do, how you want to achieve it, how you want to go about it, so that you could be doing these things on a daily basis, because the way that you achieve goals is based on things that you do daily. So the things that you do daily are going to have an impact on what you achieve in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So if you don't have a goal, and then say it's some guy out there that has, or a young lady, they have a goal like, hey, I'm going to open up this company and I'm going to have, 500 employees, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to need a, project manager. That's going to be you. They're going to be writing you into their vision unless you have a vision for yourself. So I would strongly encourage you to have a vision for yourself, for your family, for you. So that way, as you move through life, you bring other people into your play, and you're not playing in someone else's game. You're playing in your own vision. So just think about that from a goal standpoint. So that way, as you're moving through life, as you're thinking through things, because your kids, and I can tell you from experience, and that's why I like doing my show, because a lot of things that I talk about on the show, even though the show is based on personal finance, from a biblical, a gospel standpoint, I don't guess it's so much biblical, because I'm not doing like biblical research, but just from a spiritual standpoint, I guess that's the better word. Everything that I can share with you is authentic. Things that I raised 3 kids, so I know, kids not gonna stay small forever. They cute at 2, and then they get into 4, and then 6, and then first grade, and then kindergarten, and then before you know it, they like Malik at Howard, freshman at Howard. He's ready to go. So, make a plan. Make a plan for what you want to do, and make a plan for where you want to see your kids, where you want to see yourself, things of that nature. So that way you can give some time and energy to it, and don't just let life, have you going and going and going, and you don't have a plan for it. Because then you would be like what they describe as a ship without a rudder. You just kind of go, willy-nilly, haphazard. But if you got focus, if you know where you're going, you know where you want to be, you know who you are, what you want to achieve, you can do a lot more for yourself and you can do a lot more for others when you achieve that base. So today's show was really all about that. The call-in number, 404-461-9368. 404-461-9368. So I'm gonna get the phone line. I'm gonna get the phone line hopping right now because for the people that's in Atlanta, I got something for y'all. For the people that's in Atlanta, the next caller that calls in, they're gonna win some Braves tickets. Let's start off. We're gonna do the low first. So the next person that call in, caller number 1, not caller number 3, because I'm not big like B103 yet, but caller number 1. The next person that calls in, I got some Braves tickets for you. You can go and see the Atlanta Braves in their new stadium at Battery Park. Take a friend. So I got a pair of tickets, 2 tickets to anyone that's living in, or even if you're not in the Atlanta area, you're going to be in the Atlanta area, or you may know somebody in the Atlanta area. So give me a call, 404-461-9368, with a question or comment, anything of that nature. Just call in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bless you with a pair of Braves tickets for yourself and someone else. You and a friend can go, you and the wife, you and significant other, co-worker, whomever. So give me a call, 404-461-9368. Let me know what you think about the show. Let me know what you want to hear and see, because we're getting back into that back to school season. So I want to make sure that I'm hitting on some topics that are relevant for you, relevant for things that you feel like you can share with your loved ones, and relevant for things that we should be doing as a people, because everything that we do is permeated by financial literacy, and the type of financial literacy that you have, the amount of knowledge that you know, everything from where you buy your car, your house, how you spend your money. I'm definitely got some experts that are going to be coming back on. Let me stop and apologize. I went back and listened to the show from last week, and we had some major audio technical difficulties, because when I went back and listened to the show, I could hear the young lady in my headphones, but you all couldn't hear, the listening audience couldn't hear what she was saying. And I didn't realize that when we were doing the show. So I apologize for that. We're going to bring Jennifer back on at a later date. We're going to bring her back on in September. And I'm going to probably have her just go right over the same topics, because the stuff that she was sharing with us is powerful. And it's nothing like being, aligned with experts and people that this is what they do on a daily basis. This is how they, earn their living, or this is something that they've been into. And she's been in the auto industry for over 20 years. And the information that she shared with me is something that not only will it benefit you, but it'll benefit your children and your children's children. Because that way, as your children grow up and become a little older, when they're ready to buy cars and houses and condos and things of that nature, you will have a working knowledge of what to do and what not to do. And that way it becomes generational, because the thing that I'm working on, I really want us to be working on something that's generational. I'm not looking for, just what's good for me right now. I'm looking for something that my grandkids, I have 2 grandkids, that my grandkids, Kobe and Marley, will be able to benefit from, because I would have been a good steward of the resources that I was blessed with. And also I would have taken the time to teach my children and my children's children these different financial, I guess you would call them lessons. Some people say secrets, but things that we have to practice and play with, so that way we can be better stewards of our money. Again, the call-in number, 404-461-9368. Got a pair of Braves tickets up for grabs. If you want to call in with a question, a comment, going to do a quick little roll call on the Facebook Live. I see my brother-in-law, Kevin. Love you, man. I appreciate you. Marva Logan is on. George, I see you. Marith, I see you. Jeanette Sanders, I see you. I appreciate all you. Dewana, I appreciate you. Odell, and that's my partner in crime. He's one of the ministers that's part of the DK radio personalities, and I definitely appreciate him. Grew up with him. He's from where? Duval. So I appreciate him and everything that he's done and the opportunity he's given me as well. So definitely, if you all have a question, if you have a concern about something, give me a call. Let me know. Like I said, I'll be back in our main studio next week. This week, the production team was off site. So I figured, they off site. I had two options. I could take the week off and we play something that's pre-recorded, or I could bring you some more information and just keep it going. So this show was really more so about you than about me, because one of the things that I want to find out is I want to test myself to say, do I have what it takes? And like I said, if you knew what was behind the other side of this screen and all the stuff that I did in 2 hours prior to the show, because I got off of work, ran home, started working on this thing, got my phone number set up, got my phone line set up, got something set up on the computer. First computer wouldn't work, went and grabbed another one out the computer room, switched it out, Facebook Live wouldn't work, whole bunch of stuff. But all of that was just barriers trying to get me from doing it. But I pulled it off. So this is probably one of the shows that I'm most excited about, because I had the opportunity to do something for the first time, and it was no excuses. It was like no excuses. I took all of the excuses off the table, wanted to make sure that whatever I said I was going to do, I said, man, let's go on and do it. No matter how crazy it look. I don't know how crazy I look, being on Facebook Live. I'm going to go back and look at the video, because similar to football players, and I know we getting into football season, I go back and look at the film. So things that I need to improve upon, things that I could say better, do better, have more structure around. Those are the things that I definitely want to see. And you all give me feedback as well. You can send me an email at dailybreadradioshow@yahoo.com. Working on the website. The website should be up by probably around Labor Day, a little bit after. Shout out to Quentin and his team is working on the website. So I'm working on some content for the website. Want to make sure we have things on there that are valuable and that are an asset to the listener audience. So if you want to reach out to me or give me some feedback, because that's how you grow. So not to say, I'm opening it up to, a whole bunch of, non-positive feedback, but anything that you want to share was, I think we need to get into a position where we can accept constructive feedback, because that's how you grow, right? That's how you grow. So I'm trying to do this show. I'm in it for the long haul, and I definitely want to make sure that I'm doing something that people feel like is valuable. So you can send me an email, dailybreadradioshow@yahoo.com. You can tweet me at Joaquin Thompson Sr. at Daily Bread Radio. That's my Twitter. I'm still working with that Twitter thing. That Twitter is, it's exhausting. You got to keep saying stuff. And I'm like, I got to get in the habit of doing that. Got a blog that's coming, so that's going to be attached to the website. So we're not going to go into the blog, but still got a few minutes. We got like 5 minutes left in the show this evening. Got a pair of Braves tickets up for grabs. Call-in number is 404-461-9368. You know what? I'm going to take some time. I'm going to do this for y'all. I'm going to make it even easier for you. 404-461-9368. So I want you all to you use that number, give me a call in the radio, and let me know what you're working on. Because all of us, all the people that I see listed on Facebook Live here, everybody should be working on something. Because if you ain't growing, you stagnant, you going in, you can only be going forward or backward. You can't be doing both. So it's my hope that everybody that listens to my show every week, that you're working on something. It might be, I'm going to start me a garden. I'm going to start eating all raw vegetables. I'm going to start improving on my, my mechanics. I'm going to start working on cars. Everybody should be working on something. Like everybody should be working on something. Because if you're not working on something, then you really you kind of you really are not taking full advantage of the life that God has given us and the things that we could be doing to better ourselves, and not only ourselves, but the community at large. We got so many different people that are in our community that need assistance based on the skill set that we have and the blessings that we have. So we all should be working on something. So that's my sincere hope, is that everybody within the sound of my voice are working on something. If you're not working on something, you're planning something, you're getting ready for something, but make sure it's not, something up here that's keeping you from moving forward. Shake it off. Like I said, forgive yourself, get all that out the way, so that way you can have a clear mind, and then you can have a bright future, and then you can turn around and be a blessing to someone else. So And we got a few minutes left in the show, 56. Definitely, if you want to give me a call, 404-461-9368. It's been a powerful show tonight. I'm super excited. Next week, we'll be back in the regular studio. And then we got a listening audience. So one of the things that we're doing, I was joking about that, but that's real serious, is you really got to keep playing with your mind, because we set up this studio, got all these chairs in it, and there's nobody in the studio. So as I'm walking by them chairs every week, when I'm doing my show, I just like, one day we're going to wake up and this place is going to be packed out. Like, we're not going to be able to get another person in here, or the fire marshal going to shut it down. And that's just us just dreaming. And we helping people. And the feedback has been very tremendous. We getting it from young people, like the brother who called in earlier today, 25 years old. We getting it from, people that's my age, 50-year-olds, and even people that are older. They're saying, I appreciate everything that you're doing. You're doing some great stuff, and you're helping a lot of people. So that's really what it's all about. And as we get ready to close out the show, I want to definitely share with you all the power of being focused. And this is my, it ain't playing now. It ain't playing now, but I'll get that back on. It's just technology, but definitely want to thank you all for tuning in this evening. We're on every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., regardless if we're in the studio, our main studio, or if need be, I'll be in the home studio, got everything set up. So it was a pleasure doing this show this evening. Definitely take the time to share this with some people. Want to thank you for tuning in. Sharon, I see you. God bless you. Well said, my brother. Hey, I appreciate you and all the noobs, because we all in this thing together. You can see I always keep the sci-fi back there as well. So shout out to all of the, Greeks, non-Greeks, whomever, because that's something else I don't believe. I don't believe in segregating. We all got to be unified. So, but Sherman's a good brother. He's always supported me in everything I've been doing. And I see my sister, Kim Baker. I don't know why nobody want these Braves tickets, so maybe I'll hang on to the Braves tickets. Next week, I'll probably try to get some Falcon tickets, and I know the Falcons getting ready to open up their season. We got the new Mercedes-Benz Dome, and it looked crazy. That's all I can say. I've never seen a stadium look like this, but I have some of those in the future. And if you know some people that need to tune in every Thursday, unless something come hell or high water, I'm gonna be on the air. Whether I'm here in China, if I'm in Hawaii, because now I figured out the formula of how I can set this up no matter where I'm at. So if I'm outside the studio, if I'm doing remotes, I'll do that. I'm gonna definitely continue to bring on different people that are experts in their area, have them on and speak on everything from educators to finance to certified financial planners and even people of the word. Because one of the things that I have a vision for is we need to get this into the church. So that way we won't be having, a minister saying, if you want a financial breakthrough, because everybody wants a financial breakthrough. But the thing about a financial breakthrough, you got to have steps. You got to have goals. You got to have perseverance. You got to have that willingness and that tenacity and that grit to stick to it. So you can't just hear that one sermon and say, okay, I'm going to have a financial breakthrough. And then that's it. Then you leave, go out in the parking lot and be like, okay, that's it. You got to have something to work on. So what I'm going to do, I'm just working on my infrastructure right now before I get to them. But when I get to that point, I'll be coming to a church near you just to give that public service announcement to say, hey, all these people need help. Our people need help. There's a lot of people out here that's struggling with personal finance issues, things that we could overcome, but we just have to give them the tools so they can improve themselves. So I'll definitely be hitting the church up, because I think that's where we used to go when civil rights was being born and we wanted to change other things in our community. We went through the church. So I'm going to do the same thing. But like I said, I'm just getting the infrastructure in place, because it's not like, you going out trying to get something and somebody start asking, well, do you have a website? And do you have this? Do you have that? So I'm just taking my time, planning my strategy, working my plan. As you notice, this is the 17th show of 1,000. So I got to get to 1,000 before I can quit. And this is only 17. So I'm very proud that we've been going strong every week since February. We're into August. So I don't see no end in sight. So if you know somebody that should be listening to the show, definitely, reach out to them, let them know. I'll keep you all informed. Got some YouTube segments that are going to be coming up as well. We're going to working with some young people, college graduates that need to know about financial literacy, because they graduating with college with all these different degrees. But guess what? They don't know what interest is, and interest will kill you. So I'm going to just leave you all with that. I appreciate everybody tuning in this evening. Like I said, I was in the home studio. Thank you all for giving me the thumbs up and all of the heart signs and everything. And whatever dream you're working on, keep working on it. Be the best that you can be, because nobody's better than you unless you give them the power to be better than you. You have the power to be the best that you want, but you got to practice. You got to put that time in and work in your gift. And that was one other thing I want to leave you all with. Stop looking at the person on the left and the person on the right, and you trying to spend time trying to be and outdo what they do. Like, I'm not going to be a pro football player. I'm 50 years old. I want to, but it ain't going to happen. So there ain't no need of me sitting up in my house worrying about what, a pro football player got. He got the new Maybach. He got the this. That ain't my gift. I'm trying to focus on my gift and take my gift, because that's what it says in the Bible. Your gift will bring you before great men or kings, depending on what version you listen to. So you have a gift too. So whatever your gift is, your gift may be teaching, your gift may be baking, your gift may be, athletics, your gift may be in finance, your gift may be in language. Whatever your gift is, work within your gift and hone your gift, so that way you're the best in that space, and then it would just expand. That's all I'm gonna do. Hey, I appreciate you all. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll see you all next week, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. the Daily Bread Radio Show, right here on Facebook Live. You can go to DKM Radio, catch us there every Thursday. And then, like I said, if you want to email me, dailybreadradioshow@yahoo.com. You all have a great evening. Thank you. I'm going to try to get this thing to play. I'm going to go out like that. I'm going to try to get this technology to work for me. I'll end it that way. Uh-oh. 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 So we're going to end right, y'all. We're going to end it right. Hey. That's what's up. That's how we going to do it. Root to the bros. Hi. That's bomb. That's what's up. Hey, y'all have a good evening. Peace.